As the Ebola virus spreads through Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia, the rainy season is coming to an end. Each year around this time, migrant workers set out on foot looking for work in neighbouring countries, especially now as Ebola devastates their home economies.
They go back to the gold mines, to the cocoa plantations, to the illegal charcoal operations, etc. So this is not new. It's a very porous border system throughout all that area of Africa, and we just know that people are moving right now as we speak.
There are temperature checks, Ebola checkpoints, if you will, on the main thoroughfares. But experts who've dealt with Ebola outbreaks before say quarantines and lockdowns won't stop the human traffic.
In a major outbreak in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, back in '95, the government put what's called a cordon sanitaire around the area where the outbreak was occurring, thinking that they had kept people in. What happened was they blockaded major roads, but people were crossing through jungle paths onto the river, getting in dugout canoes, and actually we had to trace contacts who had escaped from the containment area into areas where there was no longer a cordon sanitaire.
So far, the nightmare scenario of Ebola spreading on foot across borders hasn't happened, but there are concerns. WHO officials met this week in Brazzaville to discuss just that, the immediacy of the threat to the neighbouring countries and what exactly they should do if Ebola comes knocking. So a common readiness plan with guidance on diagnostic labs, on medical community outreach, on safe burial practices. A template really for any country, but a priority now for West Africa. As one WHO official said to me, this is an easy disease to manage if the correct healthcare systems are in place. The key is rapid detection. It took more than 2 months for an outbreak of the virus to be identified in a remote corner of Guinea. By that time, the disease had travelled to major population centres across Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone. Nigeria, Africa's biggest economy, confirmed its first Ebola case in July. It was a Liberian American with Ebola who'd flown into Lagos from Monrovia. 18 others were infected. But thanks to a massive emergency response, tracing those who'd had contact with the patient and monitoring their condition, Nigeria managed to keep the virus in check. There have been no new cases in over a month. Of course, Nigeria economically is a different story to Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Senegal or the Ivory Coast, which share borders with the Ebola-affected countries. As the world scrambles to respond to the crisis in West Africa, it must not forget to look beyond where Ebola is now to where it could well land next. Diana Magnay, CNN, Johannesburg.